Hi guys, this is BT Nuclear and welcome to the holiday season. Today we'll be reviewing Pokémon Legends ZA and if it's worth your money or if it's mobile game slop. Let's get into it. Like any review, I would like to start off with the negatives in the game, and then we'll go into the positives. So, in Pokémon Legends ZA, you're going to know this straight off the gate. The visuals do have problems. Even though it's a Switch to Enhanced version, if you look at the textures in the game, all the buildings are flat. There is no textures on the building. They are flattened out windows. They're not even real windows. They're just PNGs on the building. Now, coming from a multi-billion-dollar company, one of the biggest entertainment franchises in the world, you would think that, they would actually put some effort into their games when it comes to the visuals. But they were on a rush because the Pokemon company rushes them to make product every single year, which same other companies struggle with that too, like Call of Duty. Let's just get rid of the visuals because that's not the main few negatives I have. Another negative I have with this company too is there's no voice acting in this game, and it's very awkward when you're playing through a game and it's fully animated cutscene. Everything looks perfect, the cutscene's beautiful, but it's awkward when there's literally no sound going on and it's just flaps moving on their mouth with no sound coming out, and you have to read text boxes. I really think they should start adding voice acting to these games, because like I said, they are a multi-billion-dollar entertainment company that could put more effort into this. They could get voice actors, a bigger team, so they could get better textures that can actually work on the game and put more into it. If they want to rush games year after year after year, they need a bigger team instead of the team they have. Another negative I would have to say is, I only got like 3 negatives, so it's not that too many negatives, is that having them require online for them to get certain content that's locked behind online. If a family who has young kids doesn't have a lot of money and they want to get this game, some of the content is locked behind online play, which then you'll have to buy on top of the game, on top of the console, you'll have to buy an online subscription. So like there's the Megastone for Delphox, Greninja, and Chestnut, and also eventually Baxcalibur, that you have to get via online ranked battles, which I think is dumb for Pokemon because it's a kid's game. They should be able to have it just from playing the game naturally, not ranked battles. If they want to do rewards and stuff, that's fine, like keep the bottle caps and all that, but they shouldn't be locking behind new Mega Pokemon and new features for their new Pokemons behind an online pay service. I don't think that's right, and I don't think that should be abused for a family to be forced to do that, or for their kids not being able to reach that content. Now that is it for the negatives. Okay guys, now let's go right into the positives. The positives of the game, I'm going to go first over the gameplay. Now, in Pokémon Legends ZA, unlike the last Pokémon Legends game, which was turn-based, this goes even further and makes it an action RPG. So, and it's kind of like Xenoblade in a way, where you have cooldowns on your attacks, and then you press them whenever you're ready for your next attack, which makes you use a majority of your moves instead of just using one move over and over again. You could just switch between them because they all have cooldowns. I like the combat. I love how it's more open and more action. It makes it feel like you're actually in the anime or in the Pokemon universe. I also like how they brought back the Pokemon throwing mechanic from Legends and the dodge roll. Now, I feel like this is something they should keep in the mainline games going forward, like Gen 10 coming out next year. They should really keep the ball throwing mechanic where you can go up, aim up your shot, throw the ball, because it just makes way more sense than clicking a menu, click ball, click throw. It feels way more immersive to actually throw the ball. I love that about the Legends series games, and I hope they go on to the mainline games now that the ranked battles aren't connected to the mainline games. They're going to Pokemon Champions. So hopefully we can keep that battle system going into Gen 10. Another thing I liked about the game, the music was great. Altogether, the music is a really good soundtrack, specifically Jensen's song with Electric Swing. I love the Electric Swing soundtrack they had for that. It was beautiful. The boss battles were actually pretty challenging this time around. Usually for Pokemon games, you could just sweep them. They're not that hard to do. It's not that really hard to fight games in general for Pokemon. But the Road Mega Evolution Pokemon battles, they actually did pretty good, I would say, difficulty scaling with them. Even towards the late game, you'll find yourself struggling against the final few bosses and the hordes of Rogue Mega Evolution Pokemon coming after you. I won't go too much in depth to the story because I don't want to spoil it for you. I'll do a little bit later in the video a spoiler section about things I liked about the story. Bringing back old characters of the game, I like that they did that. If you're a fan of Pokemon X and Y, they bring back some of the older characters from Pokemon X and Y into Legends ZA, and I appreciate that, the nod back to the past. Like I said, we went over the gameplay. Gameplay is great. Soundtracks get great. The only thing I would say I like, the wild zones get a little bit repetitive after a while because you are in a city. With the city aspect, it's all one big city, and since they don't want to have load times, there's no gaps between it. So it's all one huge big map. I wish there was more variety in the buildings besides different color roofs and flat buildings with flat windows. They could have done a little bit more variety or let us go outside of the city, like just for legendary fights or something like that. Because having it just trapped in the city after a few hundred hours like I have to 100% complete it, it gets boring after a while of seeing the city landscape. But in the first few opening hours, it feels refreshing, it feels nice, it feels great. And that's it for the environment. The online battles, though, if you do have an online subscription, it is pretty fun. I don't agree that you should have online subscription with the locked content like we said earlier, but the online battles are fun to play with online. You get 3 Pokemon. It's like a battle royale style. You all go after one another, and you get like bottle caps, Pokeballs, apricots, all that kind of stuff. Throughout the season, you can go already from Z to A through the online matches, and it's pretty fun. You can pick your own soundtrack. It's a really good multiplayer game mode. Unlike the last Legends game, you can actually trade and battle, so the online's way more fleshed out in this game for cooperative play with people. And with shiny hunting, there's a few complaints I have with shiny hunting this time around because we can't breed Pokemon, which I love the breeding method for shiny Pokemon hunting. The new methods are bench resetting, flying into the zone, out of the zone, flying into the zone, flying out of the zone. And that's pretty much it for that, or walking far away till they despawn and they respawn in. Without the shiny charm, I got over 80 shinies, so I'd say it's a pretty good chance you'll see a shiny through your first playthrough before you get the shiny charm. Which also I do like about this game. They give you missions besides the main story. You have 121 side missions in the game. Through Emma, you do go to her Detective Bureau, and she gives you missions where you can complete for the people of Kalos City. And all those side missions add more lore to the city, the people, and the world, and give a way more building aspect for the community you're helping in the game. And then you also have Maybelle's research missions, which there's 50 levels, and you get all of them done, and you get the shiny charm. Usually you complete the Pokédex and you just get the shiny charm after that. I kind of like how this time, or even if you complete the Pokédex, that doesn't guarantee that you have it done. Because right now I have everything done but one mission, and that's the battles. You have to go from... You can have every single mission complete in Mabel's research besides the battles, and it won't be enough to get the shiny charm. But that's what I like about it, because it gives you something to grind for. And then you have to beat 500 battles, and then all of a sudden it says, boom, you have to do another 1,000 battles. And then you can unlock the shiny charm, which I kind of agree with that, because it makes you really work for it to actually get it, to increase the spawn rates. But you don't really need that, in my opinion, because the spawn rates are still pretty good for shinies. You just got to put more time and effort into it to get a shiny instead of with the shiny charm. The story, now this is where we're going to get into spoilers, so if you don't want to watch this part, I'm going to give you to the count of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, spoilers. I'm going to go into the story. I feel like with the story overall, we got to remember that this is a children's game. Any of us who play it, who's been playing since we were little, know it's meant for kids. Do I think kids could deserve better stories? Yes. Do I think kids deserve more for like voice acting? Yes. But for a children's story and the concepts that add to the story, I think it's really good. About regret, about sins of the past, how to get over that, how to take responsibility for your actions and work towards a better tomorrow. I think they did a good job with that, because AZ is fixing his sins of his past. He built the ultimate weapon. He went to destroy the world. But after the he's going to fix the sins of his past by finding the ultimate Mega Evolution user, so that way they can destroy the ultimate weapon. And then at the end of the game, this is the first time that this is... Maybe it's been more than once, but a Pokemon character actually dies in a Pokemon game. That doesn't really happen in most games, and I was pretty shocked when that happened in the story. It builds a lot of emotional impact, and it actually makes you feel invested in the story that they actually killed someone off, when you're not really expecting that from a child's game. I think overall the story of that is pretty good. Lysander coming back, now he's immortal because he has to go through the sin since he fired the ultimate weapon in X and Y, and then afterwards that weapon was destroyed. Now you have to go destroy Ange, and then after Ange is destroyed, AZ passed away. And then Lysander is now, instead of being called Lysander, he goes by L because he's forgiven his sin in his past. He's working for a better future with Zygarde E and you and Team MZ. I think that's a great story overall. We'll see how it goes with Mega Dimensions DLC, if it gets any better. But for the story, I think they did a pretty decent job overall. And now let's get into the final section, the overall review. And if I think this is a game for your kid, game for you, or a longtime Pokemon fan, or if someone who never played Pokemon before, if they should get into this game. Now, I'm going to straight up say this. If you're a person who only cares about graphics, voice acting, has to be the best out of best gameplay, the best out of everything, this game's strictly not for you. It's not going to be for you. You should never expect that. This is the Pokemon Company. Yes, they should do better because they make billions, but out of everything we see, hopefully it's going to get better for the next generation because the leaks came out and they're getting a new graphics engine. But until then, I don't think this game is for you if you're always caring about graphics and all of that. It's not a game for you. If you're a longtime Pokemon fan, yes, this is a game for you. I would recommend playing it. If you played X and Y, it's a great game to reminisce from the past and stuff. And it'll be really entertaining for you to go back, meet old characters, and play the game, and get a bunch of new Mega Evolutions. If you're thinking about getting this game for your kid, I'd highly recommend it. You don't have to get the online. You may feel like you should because it's the only way to get that content, but out of everything I say, if we don't want them to continue this practice, don't get the online and don't do it, even though you'll miss out on that content. I do it because I make content for the game, but you necessarily don't have to. I will be making a review on the DLC and if it's worth to buy, so if you want to hold off on getting the DLC, then I would highly recommend that because I'll be showing a Let's Play of the DLC as we go on through it. And if you want to see even more details about the game, I make guides, I make a Let's Play. We're about to finish our Let's Play at the main story. So if you really want to see in depth if this game is worth it for you, then I would recommend doing that. Overall, the game score that I'm going to give this game is about a 7.5 out of 10. They could do better performance-wise. They can do better effort in general in the game. But as a story, as a Pokemon game, as just a game to relax with, I would say it's a pretty decent. It's not a horrible game. It's not the best game ever. It's not a mid game. It's not the worst thing you could ever play. It's just a good okay-ish game. I wouldn't say I highly recommend it, but it's a game. If you're a Pokemon fan, get it. If you're not a Pokemon fan, you already made your decision, so it doesn't matter. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This has been BT and Nuclear. Peace out. Holy shit, I can't believe I spent this much time in the game. Damn, man. Look at that amount of hours. Bruh. I have no life.